Any health-related information on the following show provides general information only. Content presented on any show by any host or guest should not be substituted for a doctor's advice. Always consult your physician before beginning any new diet, exercise, or treatment program.
Welcome to Accelerated Health TV and Radio Show. I'm your host, Sara Banta. I'm a health coach, natural supplement expert, and a busy mama of 3. Make sure you hit the subscribe button below so you're notified every week with my new podcast on Mondays and Tuesdays. And if you haven't already, join my free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. There is no downside. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health, and you will be a part of a like-minded group to support you on your journey, in addition to truly taking control of your health. And there's no downside. It's free. My goal is to reach everyone on earth with eyes to see and ears to hear my message of healing. So help me with that goal. Share this podcast with a few of your friends who may need my help, and especially this topic, because you all have been complaining about unexplained weight gain. It doesn't make sense, Sarah. I haven't changed anything I'm eating or doing. I'm actually working out more, and I just can't lose this weight. We're not talking about menopausal weight. We're not talking about holiday weight. We're not talking about birthday celebrations and feeling a little plump after the extra cake and Ben and Jerry's. We're talking about the weight that just does not make sense. And more people have been suffering from unexplained health problems like autoimmune diseases, gut issues, arthritis, mental health issues, and especially this weight gain. Why? There's so many things going on. Well, some of this is going to make sense, and some of it you're going to say, yeah, okay, I understand. And some of it you're just going to be going, whoa, where did that come from? Number one, stress and cortisol. We all know stress kills. All of the supplements, all of the diet, all of the exercise doesn't really do much if you're stressed. But one of those things is weight gain and the level of perceived stress. So not just the stressors in your life, right? Those aren't going to change. They're going to come and go. How are you going to perceive it? How are you going to interpret that stress in your body? Cortisol is referred to as the stress hormone, and it can have complex effects on the fat metabolism and weight gain. So it's not really simple. It's true that that level of cortisol can contribute to the weight gain, but some of the reasons you might not be aware of. So first, cortisol is released by the adrenal glands in response to stress. In acute or short-term stress situations, that cortisol can actually mobilize stored energy or fat and actually cause weight loss. So you might actually lose weight initially. And that's why if someone, loses a loved one, they might go through this weight loss period, but then it might come back and bring some friends, right? And that's the reason is the job of it is to provide quick source of energy for the body's fight or flight response. So your body's utilizing the excess glucose and fat in the body right away to provide that energy because you're not hungry. You are in that really stressed fight or flight state. Well, number two, you've got appetite and cravings that actually increase when you're stressed, right? And that makes sense. You might say, yeah, well, it makes sense that I'm gaining weight because I'm really stressed out. And so I've been eating late at night. That makes sense, right? But that is another reason. And you tend to reach for the high calorie, sugary, or fatty foods, processed foods, which we've talked about. And that will pack on the pounds much quicker than if you reach for the whole foods. So next time you are stress eating, just reach for something that's whole, a whole apple, not the apple juice or the apple fritter or the apple ice cream, but choose the whole food. That is another issue with this weight gain. But this is where it gets interesting. Fat storage. So the chronic stress and consistently elevated cortisol levels are going to create fat around the abdominal area. Your body is in stress and survival mode. So when you're being chased by a tiger, you want to protect your organs around your belly, your liver and your kidneys and your gut, right? So with that, your body is going to be prone to store a layer of fat around these organs to protect them. And that is just for survival. The body is smart. Remember that. Next, which is interesting, metabolism. So your prolonged stress and cortisol slows down the metabolism. So why? Think about it. Your body doesn't know. Are you going to be facing a famine? Are you going to be under this stressed experience for a long time? Well, we better slow down the metabolism and store our fat so that we have storage for later on. And that T4, your thyroid hormone, inactive thyroid hormone, converts into reverse T3, which is your survival mechanism, not your free T3. We want our free T3 to be high and healthy and our reverse T3 to be low. But when you're stressed, the metabolism will cause it to go T4 to reverse T3, slowing down your metabolism and telling your body to store that fat, man. We've got to store our fat for survival. And another interesting thing, away from the stress eating, that you are actually increasing the sugary foods that you're eating that will cause insulin resistance. And we know that, right? But chronic stress leads to leads to increased insulin resistance away from the change of food. So you could be testing your blood sugar, and your blood sugar could be higher. Your insulin on your blood test could be higher, which most people don't get their insulin tested. Ask your doctor to test your insulin levels. That could be going up just from stress. I've actually seen this happen in one of my loved ones' lives over the last couple of years. Never had blood sugar issues in their life, hasn't changed anything they've eaten, and insulin resistance and blood sugar have increased. And it's because of stress. Okay, so that's with the stress hormones, and that is one of the top reasons for unexplained weight gain. But number two is that we're eating more processed foods and we don't even realize it because it's normal. 67% of the typical American diet is processed foods. So we assume it's real food, right? It's not real food. If it has a label on it and there's more than one ingredient, like sweet potato or steak or fish, it is processed foods. And these processed foods are packing on the pounds, causing fatty liver disease, causing insulin resistance, causing all chronic disease quicker than ever. And why? They are high calorie, right? So all of these processed foods are calorie dense, and we take a bite of it compared to a bite of an apple, and there's like 10 times the amount of calories in that one bite, and you don't even know it. And then they contain these added sugars, the unhealthy fats, the inflammatory fats, the refined carbohydrates, and they take out the fiber. So there's not fiber to fill up that bite. And so you're taking this bite and it's stacked with that sugar and the unhealthy fats. And then the added sugars are fructose, high fructose corn syrup, lead to increased caloric consumption. And what's different though is fructose is metabolized different than glucose. So it's processed in the liver and directly converted into liver fat without being used for energy. So you're not even getting the bang for the buck and actually getting energy from this fructose. Fructose also steals energy or ATP out of the body, and that is true cellular energy. People tend to eat more, hoping for more energy, and the fructose is taking away their energy, so then they want to eat more to get more energy. And this excessive sugar intake is definitely the leading cause of weight gain and obesity. And unfortunately, it is designed to be addictive, more addictive than cocaine, heroin, tobacco, alcohol. This is truly the drug. And that's why you can't get off the wheel, right? And you think it's about all about your willpower. And that's why there's Ozempic and all of these semaglutide drugs helping to stop the cravings, because the cravings will keep it going. But these processed foods are designed to become addictive. And the processed foods lack the essential nutrients like the vitamins, minerals, and fiber. And then they've got empty calories. So the gut is looking for specific nutrients like amino acids from protein and omega-3 fatty acids to trigger a hormone called CCK. And that hormone is triggered in the gut when it sees, like, say, a bison steak. And then it tells my brain that, oh my gosh, I'm getting so much nutrients right now, and I actually I'm full, I'm good, I don't need to eat anymore. You tell me the last time that you binged on fish or steak or even eggs, right? You just don't do it because the hormone is triggered. But then if you have your steak and you're totally full, and then you have a bite of Ben and Jerry's, oh my gosh, the lights light up and you go, I'm hungry, I could eat the whole pint. Well, there's a reason, because these processed foods not only don't trigger that CCK, but they actually destroy the gut lining, which fails the gut to even trigger CCK when you eat the right foods, right? So say you have processed foods in the morning and you have a healthy dinner, your CCK hormone might not be triggered to the brain because it's now you've got a leaky gut, and that is disabling that signaling. So your brain is not hearing the message. So this means that you're going to overeat. The body seeks the nutrients it needs, right? So it's constantly going to be saying, okay, feed me more, feed me more. I need more food because I haven't gotten the nutrients that I need. And this is also the reason why a lot of vegans end up with insulin resistance and obesity, is because they're not getting the amino acids that the brain is needing, right? Because the plant proteins just don't have the high quality amino acids like animal protein, wild animal protein. So these processed foods are high in unhealthy fats, and you think, oh, well, fats are good because they're low sugar and they don't cause insulin resistance. Wrong. These seed oils in processed foods, like the trans fats as well, they contribute to weight gain and cause inflammation and insulin resistance at the cellular level. So even though they don't contain glucose, they raise the insulin, and that will lead to weight gain. And then the processed ingredients, the additives, the preservatives, they may affect the metabolism and appetite, as the body doesn't recognize them as real food. So it's not real food. I'm not going to say, oh, you're full, and I'll just keep eating. And when the body sees something as a toxin, it will encapsulate it in fat cells for survival purposes. So the goal is to get it out of the blood and into the fat. The fat cells are a survival mechanism. They're a good thing, right? We would die without our fat cells. That's where all of the toxins that we talk about, the heavy metals, the radiation, gets stored. So the more toxins we have, the more fat cells we need to store those toxins to save ourselves. These processed foods are convenient. They're in these portion sizes. Remember the snack wells, the 100-calorie snacks, and you think, oh, well, it's okay because I'm just eating 100 calories. But that 100 calories is then triggering your appetite to increase more, and you end up eating more. It alters the gut microbiome. So the additives, the emulsifiers, the preservatives, they negatively impact the gut microbiome, causing leaky gut, inflammation, malnutrition, and that can all influence weight regulation. Now, there was a hot topic I did on fecal transplants, and it showed that when you did a fecal transplant from a thin person to an obese person, they could actually lose weight. That's how important our microbiome is. So if we're destroying our microbiome with these foods, then it could just wreak havoc on our weight gain, so that we're gaining weight even when we're eating low calorie and maybe even switching back to whole foods. You have to heal that gut. The fructose. So this is crucial. particularly when it comes from added sugars. It has been linked to insulin resistance and weight gain. And there's a crucial distinction between naturally occurring fructose in fruits and vegetables and these high corn syrup, processed foods, beverages, sodas, candies, crackers, all of that. These high fructose corn syrup and other fructose sugars are found even in packaged dairy and meats and other foods. So you even have to look at those foods, your yogurts, even your milks, even your hot dogs. Some of those things that have these hidden sugars. And then what happens, it actually, when we ingest the fructose, it primarily undergoes metabolism in the liver. And you gotta love your liver, right? Your liver is where everything happens. So mostly glucose, which most cells in the body can easily absorb and use for energy. Fructose is predominantly processed in the liver and then converted directly into liver fat. And it overwhelms the liver's processing capacity. And then what happens? So you've got it encouraging the accumulation of fat in the liver, and that is leading to this pandemic of non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And the presence of liver fat can disrupt insulin signaling and contribute to insulin resistance. So just by having fatty liver can raise your insulin resistance. And then fructose intake can boost that triglyceride number. That is the number that your doctor is going to talk to you about. High blood triglyceride levels are associated with insulin resistance and cardiovascular disease. Fructose also can be demonstrated to disrupt the insulin signaling pathways in various tissues. So not only is sugar increasing insulin resistance, but this is actually interfering with the signaling pathways and the normal function of insulin receptors, reducing insulin sensitivity and impairing the ability of the cells to take up the glucose. Now, this is one you haven't heard of. So it will actually increase uric acid levels. Metabolizing that fructose raises uric acid levels in the blood, and that's been linked to insulin resistance and a heightened risk of metabolic diseases. So it's actually interesting. Some people think that by keeping uric acid under control, it will keep insulin resistance under control. And I'm super excited. We will be having Robert Lustig and Dr. Rick Johnson together to debate this issue. What came first, the chicken or the egg, the uric acid or the insulin resistance? Uric acid can also accelerate the removal of copper from the body, resulting in low bioavailable copper that leads to iron accumulation in the liver. And that is a factor in non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. And copper has been associated with fat burning. So it's really important to have that copper in the body for fat burning. So what else? This one is a shocker. The spike protein, the whole pandemic, what we've all been going through. And I just was scanned by a machine called the Manhunter. There's only 3 in California, very few across the country. And I have to be very careful with how I speak about this. I've been exposed, but I haven't had any jabs. I think I may have had it. I tested positive at one time, didn't really have any symptoms at all. But that spike protein is showing havoc in my body. I saw it in my liver. I saw prions in my body, which normally wouldn't be there. There were other things going on. So it has affected everybody, unless you are in Iceland, in an igloo, isolated. So, which I don't think that's the case for any of you. The spike protein, what is it? It is associated with the COVID virus, right? And it dysregulates the function of the ACE2 enzyme receptor in the liver, which leads to a buildup of angiotensin 2. And as a result, we're seeing in general, without being scanned, right? Water retention, insulin dysregulation, and unexplained weight gain. So remember, insulin is a fat storing hormone. That's its job. But what happens is say you are the same person in 2019 and 2024, right? And you eat an apple. You might have an over-exaggerated insulin response in 2024 compared to 2019. And this is going to cause unexplained weight gain. Same person, pretend you're the same age, no change in hormones, no change in exercise, none of that. You might gain weight, whereas in 2019 you didn't. So that is one of the effects. Then it's also increasing in the antidiuretic hormone, causing the water retention, increasing oxidative stress, inflammation throughout the body, hormonal imbalances, and we all know that hormones can lead to weight gain. Next is copper deficiency. No one's talking about this. The increase in dietary fructose and processed foods, we talked about how that decreases copper, and the infiltration of the spike protein that's affected all of us. Both of those things deplete copper at an accelerated rate. So it's not something we really were thinking about before, but now it is a crisis where we are all depleted in copper. So fructose metabolism results in substantial copper depletion, and then the spike protein does it independently. And copper plays a vital role in reducing uric acid levels, a crucial component in preventing insulin resistance and weight gain. And we talked to Morley Robbins about this on a podcast. So if you want to listen to that, go back and listen to the importance of copper and fat burning. And why? How does it do this? It blocks or it inhibits, copper inhibits the polyol pathway, a metabolic process responsible for converting glucose into sorbitol and fructose. And in the absence of copper, uric acid levels will rise, paving the way for insulin resistance and the unexplained weight gain. It also regulates triglycerides and liver fat. So just copper on its own can help with your triglyceride levels and prevent the accumulation of fat in the liver and fatty liver disease. Now remember, fatty liver disease is skyrocketing now. No surprise, right? An excess of buildup in fat in the liver is going to cause the insulin resistance and then the weight gain. Copper helps manage your iron levels. You know, people that are anemic think it's all about the iron. Most of us have plenty of iron in our bodies, but it's not in the right places. Copper is the key to open the door to get the iron to where it needs to go. And it plays a crucial role in that iron regulation in the bloodstream. And that is addressing the root cause of oxidative stress. Reduced oxidative stress leads to lower uric acid levels and then a lower likelihood of insulin resistance and weight gain. Number 6, radiation. Yes, just by being on these phones, right? And I'm guilty, and I'm on my computer right now. That radiation can raise my blood sugar and my insulin and cause weight gain. Whether it's non-ionizing or ionizing radiation, it's been linked to an increase in insulin resistance. And then this is also affecting our nervous system, our endocrine and hormonal systems. And you know that your master endocrine gland is your thyroid. If your thyroid's messed up, you're going to gain weight. And if you have hormonal issues, you might gain weight. All of those things can cause weight gain without eating a morsel of chocolate. This radiation is going to result in oxidative stress, free radical damage, even DNA damage, and can contribute to dementia. So when the body detects the presence of toxins and radiation, it tends to activate that survival mode response. And then we are going to see a metabolic adjustment. The body lowers its metabolic rate as a protective measure, increases insulin resistance to facilitate more storage fat so that we have emergency energy, right? And the toxins and radiation are sequestered within larger fat cells to shield the vital organs from potential harm. That's why I was talking about where the fat cells are that layer to protect your nice organs. And then it reduces ATP and energy, and that ATP is your true cellular energy. So this radiation is coming from smartphones, 5G, the smart meters, the x-rays, the EMFs, all of that stuff. And then you look at the toxins, our bodies are bearing an overwhelming amount of toxins, surpassing anything that our ancestors ever experienced. And we don't think about it because it's normal to us, right? GMOs, glyphosate, lead, mercury, and other heavy metals, and dental fillings, vaccinations, water sources, presence of fluoride, chloride, bromide in our food and our water, all of that stuff. And our livers are just giving up. It's disrupting hormonal balance, causing estrogen dominance. We get these new fat cells to protect our bodies, and it's just our bodies are ready to give up. Then you've got the xenoestrogens. These are synthetic compounds that mimic the effects of natural estrogen in the body, and they're included in the plastics, the pesticides, industrial chemicals, and they cause a disruption in the endocrine system and hormonal balance. Just by having your hormones out of balance, you could gain weight, and it regulates your appetites and your metabolism, your fat storage, all of that stuff. And then some studies have indicated that xenoestrogens may affect the function of adipose tissue itself, potentially promoting fat accumulation. So on its own, this is away from eating chocolate. So this is the unexplained part. Xenoestrogens also interfere with insulin sensitivity, increasing the risk of insulin resistance. And then you also have the thyroid hormone. So I would say 9 out of 10 people are probably running around with suboptimal thyroid, and they don't even know it because they go to the doctor and the doctor tests the TSH and it looks normal. And that's not your thyroid, guys. That is not it. If you are tired and you have the symptoms of hypothyroidism, listen to your body. Constipation, water retention, dry skin and hair, no energy, and that unexplained weight gain. So these toxins and the radiation can disrupt the thyroid function, and they can also affect the brain's control of appetite, leading to an increase in food intake and weight gain. Next, a dirty liver. The liver is the master detox organ, plays a pivotal role in producing the estrogen binding protein. So when the liver is functioning properly, it can help bind up those toxins and those xenoestrogens. And this is not happening because the liver is so overburdened with all of these toxins we're talking about. The liver is where phase 1, 2, and 3 estrogen detoxification processes take place. So as the liver is suffering, it's unable to clear all of these excess estrogens, leading to further weight gain. Estrogen, good, bad, it's in the right amounts, and it's the right kind of estrogens that we want, not these ones. And then also leaky gut. So leaky gut means your intestinal walls are compromised and there's leaks in them, right? So your body can't absorb the nutrients, it can't trigger that hormone CCK, and most people are walking around with leaky gut. And that can be due to non-organic foods, toxic toxins, mycotoxins, GMOs, glyphosate, even the healthy plant poisons that we talk about, the oxalates and the sulfur vegetables, mold, those things, even though we think we're eating healthy, those could be causing leaky gut. And so how do we reverse this unexplained weight gain? There are solutions. And this is why I've come up with the Ascent Diet Cleanse. And we're going to go through each one of these supplements so you understand how it works together, and they work synergistically so you feel good while you're doing it. And it's not something that you have to be afraid of by listening and hearing that it has the word cleanse in it, because I have designed it so you feel good day one, you get this energy, and you have control over your appetite. So the first supplement is the Acceleradine iodine. There's so many amazing properties, but why it's so great for this cleanse and this unexplained weight gain is it's increasing the detoxification process. It's also antiviral, antifungal, antibacterial, antimicrobial. So it's purifying your system from the pathogens that burden the immune system and impede the detoxification pathways. It's also helping with inflammation, free radicals, allergies, all of that stuff, and histamines. But what else is doing? It's actively expelling the toxins and heavy metals and radiation out of the body, and it's targeting disease cells, initiating their destruction through the process known as apoptosis. And so what else it's doing? It's boosting your metabolism because it provides that 4 molecules and 3 molecules in T4 and T3 of your thyroid hormone. So it's helping reverse any hypothyroid symptoms. It is promoting fat burning and heightening your energy levels. I just had someone contact me today. She's a client. She's been on all my stuff. She took a break from everything because of personal issues. And she came back and she goes, I've only started the iodine and I cannot believe the amount of energy that has come back. And she's ready to get on everything, but she had only started the iodine. So I wanted to share that. It made me so happy. It supports your weight loss. It addresses the brain fog and mood related issues, increases ATP production by 18 times. And it also is showing signs that it is helping alleviate the damage done by the mRNA and the spike protein. Next is the accelerated thyroid. So like I said, most of you are walking around with suboptimal thyroid. And what's so great about this and different than any other thyroid supplement, it's improving your metabolism, promoting fat burning, helping with your physical and mental energy and your mood, but it's also breaking down fatty liver. It's helping with the connective tissues and your bones and all of that great stuff, helps with the immune system, but it's also just helping alleviate the hypothyroidism. It is enhanced with our accelerated scalar field technology, and it is infused with specific patterns to help elevate overall thyroid health and managing your thyroid conditions, counteracting the toxins and helping detox the thyroid of radiation and the heavy metals that we've talked about. So it's actually restoring your thyroid back to its natural state. No other thyroid supplement does that. Accelerated keto, and this is the key because we need to get off those processed foods, right? Well, this is helping do that. Day one, you are going to, within a mere 30 minutes, you're going to be in a state of ketosis. And we all hear about the keto diet and everything, but what we're finding is most people can't be on a high fat diet. Their livers are too backed up to process all that fat, right? So the accelerated keto kicks you into ketosis in the morning. You intermittent fast, you are burning that body fat. You're benefiting from ketones and the ketogenic state that we all talk about. And it's helping shut off the cravings because your body says, oh, I've got thousands of calories to burn on my body. I don't need to eat right now. So then what happens while your body's in this state, it focuses on the important parts of cleaning up and anti-aging. It helps with decreasing the inflammation, replacing those damaged cells, helping give the brain energy, and aiding in overall restoration, right? And so what else it has, it increases that ATP by 5 to 10 times, and that is your energy. So you're not going to be needing much more energy, but it's also helping to cleanse the liver on a daily basis and help break down that fatty liver disease. That's what we want to go after. And we want to go after that visceral fat around our abdominal area. So you don't necessarily need to adhere to a high fat diet. In fact, I recommend prioritizing wild animal protein, we'll talk about in a minute, and you just fill in with the carbs and the fats that work for your body according to your weight loss goals. Next is, I'm so excited, the accelerated cellular detox powder. Why am I so excited? is because we have improved the formula, and it is so amazing at sucking up all of those toxins so well and helping with movement, because we gotta have good bowel movements to get all those toxins out, right? So we call it the gut hero, the super gut hero. And it's great for college kids who are drinking too much, because it helps with those hangovers, but it also helps reduce bloat, heal the gut, reduce the inflammation in the gut, and it's enhanced with the scalar frequencies to help with emotional and physical shock in the body and soak up the pesticides, insecticides, heavy metals, and radiation. We always put in an electrolyte formula in the Ascenti Cleanse. Quintessential or Wild Lights are my two most favorite, in addition, of course, to the accelerated ancient salt, which is full of 62 minerals. But it's really important to be hydrating the cells. Intracellular hydration. That's not going to give you the water retention or the puffiness. That's going to help your cells function, to increase your metabolism, and also to plump up your blood to expel the toxins. Most hangovers, most detox flu symptoms, nausea, all of that stuff can be corrected by just putting some of the accelerated salt on your tongue. And I was nauseous. I actually have to share a story. For the last 2 weeks, I had been really nauseous. Did not know what it was. Wasn't the flu. I got scanned on the Manhunter, and it was my gallbladder. It was my liver. I needed another liver flush, and I do a lot of liver flushes. So if I needed a liver flush, that means you need a liver flush. But what helped during the process of leading up to my liver flush with the nausea was putting the salt on my tongue. It was the only thing that took the nauseousness away. And then I did my flush, and I got hundreds and hundreds of stones out in the toilet. It was amazing. And the nausea is gone. It's just amazing. So then you have the Laxa Comfort in the Ascenti Cleanse, because that helps with constipation. You can use it with or without the cleanse, but constipation, if you don't go to the bathroom, those toxins that you're trying to get out are only going to be recycled. Even that estrogen, the excess estrogen that causes estrogen dominance. So the Laxa Comfort makes sure that you go to the bathroom every single day. And then with that liver flush, it includes the liver flush in the Ascent Diet Cleanse. So the other thing I wanted to just mention with the accelerated salt is you can use it to help with your blood sugar. It has been shown to bring down your blood sugar with the combination with the accelerating iodine. Who knew that iodine would help with blood sugar? And help. I use it on all of my food. The liver flush is a process of 2 weeks. You take a couple pills for 2 weeks. You're not starving. You're eating all of that amazing food we talk about in the accelerated food guide that's free for all of you. And on the last day, you just do a drink and you flush it all out, and it's amazing. Okay, so what else could you do if you want to enhance your weight loss goals? We talked about copper. So that is why we came out with the accelerated scalar copper. It is instrumental in combating weight gain, insulin resistance, and uric acid. And this is the only copper supplement that is 100% absorbed. Most copper supplements only have 5 to 10% absorption. All you do is take a sip once a day. Keep it in your mouth for at least a minute, and then you swallow. You do the same with the silver as well. And the silver is included in the Ascent Diet Cleanse. Next is the Nuke No More. So like we talked about, radiation is a hidden cause of weight gain and disrupts insulin. Nuke No More are oral radiation drops, and they zero out that non-ionizing and ionizing radiation from the body, especially in conjunction with the accelerating iodine and the accelerated salt. The trio are meant to work together, and that's why they are in the radiation and heavy metals detox bundle. Next is berberine. So berberine is referred to as nature's Ozempic, right? It's going crazy on TikTok. It's like the medication metformin, metformin, and it helps with blood sugar and insulin resistance. What I like about the berberine HCl, though, is that it has the HCl to break down your foods. You guys might not be eating enough protein or animal protein because it doesn't digest well. As we get older, we lose our stomach acid, and we need the stomach acid to break down those proteins. So the berberine HCl helps with that, and it helps keep your blood sugar level. With leveling out your blood sugar, you're not going to have the spikes that cause the weight gain. So those are the supplements, but what else can we do with our diets? We talk about protein, but what kind of protein? Wild animal protein. Unfortunately, our chicken, our poultry, our pork, our conventional beef, that is not okay anymore. And it could be disrupting our guts. It could be causing more spike protein to increase in our body on its own. It could lead to Alzheimer's and dementia. And it can also just not even provide the amino acids we need to build our muscles, right? So we need to have that wild animal protein that has not been adulterated, and it's providing the amino acids, and it's triggering that hormone CCK. So you can go and eat as much as you want. Don't stop eating that protein if you're still hungry. That's what you want to focus on. And it helps increase the glucagon to, the glucagon to insulin ratio when you eat wild animal protein, and that's going to increase your fat burning. So it's kind of a nice little hack for weight loss, is to use the accelerated keto, acceleradine, and accelerated thyroid in the morning, fast, break your fast with wild animal protein, and you're going to get this extra bump in fat burning. So I love bison. It's the most nutrient dense food on the planet. The next would be elk, and then grass-fed, grass-finished beef is okay, lamb, salmon, Arctic char, other wild fish. And I talk about how you can incorporate those foods in your diet very easily. I'm a mom of 3. I'm a business owner. I'm a wife. I've got to make my food very simple and easy. And I go through that through my coaching. So definitely join the group coaching if you're sitting here going, okay, how do I do that? And it doesn't have to be expensive, right? So prioritizing that wild protein is going to be the key for unexplained weight loss, or weight loss from the unexplained weight gain. And then you want to restrict certain vegetables, the grains, the legumes. Most grains and legumes are laden with the GMOs, and they exacerbate the insulin resistance. It's just what it is. And unfortunately, vegans who are using the legumes and the grains for their proteins are having to take in so many calories to get the right amount of protein that's going to cause the weight gain. And it's causing issues in the liver. Detoxification pathways are clogged and causing leaky gut. So you're not even absorbing the nutrients. So I talk all about this in the accelerated food guide. You don't have to make every single change right today, but it's a great way to start incorporating the foods on the yes list in the accelerated food guide, so that you can slowly switch over to a diet that is helping with this issue. You want to exercise around your meals. Incorporating a walk before or after a meal can significantly lower your blood sugar and insulin. Cut out the processed foods. That is, a no-brainer, right? We talked about all of the things that these processed foods are doing to us. We got to get it out of our diets. Before 1980, they were not having an impact on our diets. No one thought about too many carbs or a keto diet or what they should eat, because there was no processed foods. So there wasn't as much chronic disease. We just have to get rid of these processed foods. They're overpalatable. They desensitize your taste buds, promote overconsumption, and then it's this vicious cycle of craving more processed foods. And then they don't have the amino acids or omega-3 fatty acids to trigger that hormone CCK, and they don't have the fiber, right? We all need our fiber. You want to avoid artificial sweeteners like aspartame, saccharin, dextrose, maltitol. They can actually raise your blood sugar, prompting an insulin response, and then you're actually craving real sugar and carbs. And then they also adversely impact the gut microbiome and cause the leaky gut. So then you're not going to absorb the nutrients you're taking in from the good foods. You can incorporate the stem cell patches if you want. The X49, and these stem cell patches I wear them here, and I wear them on different parts of my body, but you've got the X49 patch. This helps reduce body fat and liver fat while stimulating muscle mass. And I love it for hair, post-exercise recovery, cardiovascular function and focus. It really works well with the Ascent Diet Cleanse. Then the ones on my wrist are the energy enhancer ones. They augment the caloric burn, fat loss, metabolic rate, but they also increase ATP, circulation, and your life force, or your qi, as they call it in Chinese medicine. X39 is the one that is the main one that resets over 4,000 genes to a more youthful state in your body. So a lot of information. Reasons for unexplained weight gain. You got the spike protein, the stress, the way the brain and the gut are talking to each other, but it doesn't have to be overwhelming. Through the coaching, through the cleanse, through a liver flush where I take you through it day to day and answer your questions, it's doable. And you will feel this freedom from the processed foods and the alcohol and all the cravings when you get above it. And it's just amazing what I see when it really changes people's lives. So hopefully that helps, and thanks for joining me today. If I can help you with your health issues, or if you have questions about the cleanse or any of the supplements, contact me directly through the website, SaraBantaHealth.com. Happy to put together a protocol for you, and join the free group coaching on Telegram with the link below. I teach you on a daily basis with tips and tools to enhance your health, and I answer your questions, and you have a great group to support you on your journey. You can follow me on Facebook and Instagram under Accelerated Health Products, across over 100 channels under Accelerated Health TV and Radio Show. My goal is to reach everyone on earth with eyes to see and ears to hear my message of healing. So help me with that goal. Share this podcast with a few of your friends who may need my help. You can take care of your health issues. You can take back that control. So join us every week, Mondays at 2 p.m. Pacific, Tuesdays at 1 p.m. Pacific, and you can find the supplements and all of this information at SaraBantaHealth.com. Use coupon WELCOME10 for 10% off site-wide. Thanks again for joining us here, and have a great week.